welcome to week 14 of Patreon questions, and thanks as always for your support. I super appreciate it. So let's get started. In week 13 of Q&A, you mentioned it's easy to counter the knee on belly. What are some ways you use to do mainly in the gi? So it doesn't like change if it's like gi or no gi for how I would counter knee on belly, but it's like for me, and I think the easiest way is to wrestle to deal with knee on belly. I think against any wrestler, knee on belly is kind of like useless. So I'll show you what I mean. So if I stuck a knee on belly, all I really got to do is just like make some space to grab his legs. So change the angle a little more. So like I'll put my foot on the floor and just shrimp out a tiny bit and start working to get to here. Oh man, start attacking the leg and then getting on top. So it works good for me because I do have like a wrestling style where I will grab people's legs like all the time. So yeah. I think that's like pretty simple to do. So again, so yeah, mic's up here, right? All I gotta do is just shrimp out that, because right here I can't grab his leg. But if I put my foot on the mat, I'll change the angle a little more. I put my foot on the mat, I can just do the shrimp just that tiny bit out like this, and now I could get the underhook even, or the leg, doesn't matter. And now I'm here, working my wrestling. So I'd be in the same type of situation as like the how to not get your guard pass video, like grabbing the legs to get past your legs. So it's like basically the exact same position. I'd rather have like the underhook than the legs, like personally. So yeah, just one more time. Like here, if I would only grab it if Mike puts his knee on the mat. Because look, if I shrimp out enough where he puts his knee on the mat, then I'll go underhook, and now I'm in a really good spot. But if I just shrimp out where I'm here and it's still on me, the underhook won't be as good as the leg. I'll need to be here, grabbing the leg, boom, and grabbing the leg and wrestling. So I find that really easy, personally, and that'll be my go-to every time. And that's gi or no gi, doesn't matter. All right, what advice would you give black belt? What advice would black belt Jordan give to white belt Jordan to improve his training? What's that? So, like, I wouldn't do anything different, and like I don't say that in a way of like how people like, oh, no regrets. People say that all the time, but it's like I think I actually did everything the way I should have, which is like I always did my homework. So like I always studied like crazy for jiu-jitsu. Like I'd be constantly reading Jiu-Jitsu University. I'd be constantly watching videos, how to get better, instructionals, like constantly. I'd always be thinking about jiu-jitsu too, and I'd always be training as much as I could. So it's like I think I did exactly what and everyone should do if they want to get better at jiu-jitsu. And the level of effort you put, it's going to be, you're going to get that back. So sometimes people want to get good at jiu-jitsu, but they don't want to put in that like next level effort to get better. But if you want to, which is fine, but if you really want to get better and really good, you gotta put in that next level effort. It's like if you go to school, like the people that like for me, for example, I didn't do very good in school. Like I didn't do my homework ever. Nikki did it for me usually, but if she didn't, I would get like 60 to 75%. Which is like, okay, a pass. But like the people that did their homework and did projects and cared about it, those are the ones that got their 80s and the 90s. They put in that extra effort. So same thing with jiu-jitsu. It's like, that's all you really got to do to improve, just put that extra effort into it. And like that's with anything in life. So yeah, let's see. What would you do to stop someone that takes away their frame on their hip in side control and they switch to Kesa Gatami? The knee always pushes on my frame, arm upwards to where I lose the frame, then transition back to side control. Yeah, that's a great question. So we're here, and then Mike would transition to Kesa here exactly, and then when you start, and then back to side control. Exactly. So first off, like I would want to, as soon as my elbow or my forearm drops in here, that's really when you want to make space and start coming in. You can't like just like hang out there, because the longer I let him know that there's a defensive problem for him, like the more he's gonna be able to see that and counter, right? So, but if he does counter and he brings his arm in like this, right? Well, now there's lots of things he can do. Yeah, go back, just stay there, Mike. Right? If he has control of my arm, then I'm pretty screwed. Like, yeah, this is not good. You want to keep your forearm, like your elbow right here, and you can start working to like, off balance him. Like you can still shrimp this way and come out and through. Or if he has his butt off the mat a little bit, yeah, if he kind of has like his weight on you, you can start working to bring him the other way. But that's only if his weight is on you. So I would say, yeah, like here, yeah, and this changed to Kesa. Exactly. So here with his weight, yeah, his weight's on me decent here. So here again, still do your bump and shrimp. For here, bump, shrimp, and come through. Or if you can, if it's on you, just put it on me a little bit more, Mike. Exactly. If like it might be hard to see in the video, but I can feel that his weight is more like past my or on my center line at least. So from here, right, I just want to get my hips underneath him, and now bring him over. Right, so it's the same thing as like talk about in those like sweep videos and how to beat big guys, getting your hips underneath the center line. So yeah, and then if he does transition back before you can do that, then bump and shrimp right away too. Like you can't hang out there. So I have problems finishing off the head and arm choke consistently. If you can show me how to perform this submission correctly. Yeah, so the number one reason people have a hard time is they don't have, like, there's space here. See like the line right here? You can see that when you're choking someone, then they can still breathe for the most part. So you gotta be like tight on the neck like this, and a good bite. It's like talking about the triangle. So go down like. So I won't show any setups or anything. I'll just show you how to actually finish. So I'll just make it easy for myself. So look, I wanna be right here. No, come this way, Nikki. No. So look. Right here, see there's no space at all, but look at the difference. If I'm here like this, or that's exaggerated, but if I'm like here, you still see that line here. It's no good. You gotta lift up on the head and pull your arm deeper. Now see there's no space, really good bite. And now I don't need to do anything crazy. I just gable grip my arms. I come off to the side, and look how I'm gonna get my lat underneath Mike's lat like this. And now when I squeeze, it's gonna be so much pressure, and like I'm barely squeezing at all. So watch how little effort I'm gonna put. And you're gonna see like that. Look right here. Look, come this way, Nikki, please. So look, lift up, pull your arm deeper, gable grip, keep your head low. Look, my lat comes underneath Mike's lat. And now my gable, like I wasn't even squeezing. Yeah, exactly. Putting him to sleep already, right? So I won't squeeze for anything. It's okay. The problem you see all the time is people don't have a good bite. And they're doing all this crazy stuff. They're like doing weird stuff with their legs, or they're doing weird stuff with their arms. I think that's weird to do the renegade choke style grip. I don't think it works at all. But look here, oh, nice tight bite. Look, I'm not gonna put my hands together. Yeah, that's all it is. It's just the bite. So anytime you go for arm triangle, like feel like on your bicep, feel if you can feel the soft part of their neck. And if you can, then you can choke them. If you can't, then you're just gonna, burn your energy, and you're gonna hurt their neck and not gonna feel good. And all you gotta do is pull up on the head, shoot your arm deeper. So yeah, we're trying to get our arm deep, pull up on the head, boom, this comes in deep right in the neck. Good bite, no line, and that's how to do a perfect arm triangle. And you wanna see it more in detail, I have like an old video on my YouTube too, that like when I first started the channel, that goes over the arm triangle. So that helped you too. But it's the same information I just told you. Sorry. I've been caught in a Kimura while going for a Kimura. Can you explain why this happens and how I can pull it off? Yeah, so the way to counter a Kimura is always elbow positioning, okay? So if someone goes for a Kimura on you, you change your elbow positioning, then you change who has the Kimura. So it's super cool. So it's the most common position to do it from is half guard. There's reversal, so I'll show you from here. Let's see. Actually, let's go. Wait, how do do my right arm be easier?
I can do any arm you want.
Yeah, oh yeah, do my right arm. So look. So yeah, stay over there, Nikki, please. So look, right here, I gotta get my armpit above Mike's elbow. Okay, so look, I'm gonna come up like this, and get above his elbow, and then come around, Nikki. Come this way. Look, my armpit's above his elbow. Oh, right?
Yep.
Look, I'll kind of go loose. Look, now I'm here. Now I got the Kimura. So you do got to be really careful because it's such a...
Some popped.
Yeah, by your shoulder.
Yeah, it's okay.
Mine's tough. You'll be all right. But look, we'll do really gentle. Look, he goes for it again. I'll go really light. Look, you got to lift up and get above the elbow. And yeah, come over here, Nick. Look, see, I'm above the elbow. And then now I readjust myself. Here. Boom, I got the Kimura. Okay, one more time. Very gentle.
That's okay.
So again, we're here. I gotta get above the elbow. I come up with my body. Now I'm here. Look at that. And now it's just switch my hands, and now I got the elbow positioning, right? Because before it was like this. Now I'm above. I got the Kimura. So Yeah, be really careful with that one, especially, we probably should have warmed up first, but it was probably just like a pop out of place and it was like an injury.
Yeah,
So
hurt.
Might be all right.
I'll be all right.
Yeah. Well,
I'm old.
so are there any good options when you trap a leg in half guard, but are on the wrong hip, other than bump and try to switch to the correct hip? Yeah, like, yeah, yes and no. Like, yeah, basically that's what you got to do is like switch to the other side, but it doesn't require like a big bump or like even a lot of effort. So I assume we're talking more like quarter guard. So let me quarter guard, Mike. So yeah, give me this leg here and just this foot here. Exactly. So like if you're like this, right? Is what I assume. Because if you're in like, actually this, or yeah, because if you're like this, yeah, then you just like need to switch your hips that way, really. But like more like quarter guard. If we're here, it's the same thing. We just got to push with our elbow. So all the time people mess up by they use their hands way too much more than they should. Because when you use your hands, yeah, you have this like bend in your elbow and people can grab it and take the underhook. But if I'm here nice and tight, using my elbows right to frame, and then now, boom, I'm here and I gotta get, I gotta face this way. If you're facing, stay in the half guard. Yeah, if you're facing this way, you just have to turn, even if it's hard. Even the guy's putting a lot of weight on you, whatever. You don't really have a choice. You have to turn and get on your side here. But again, if you're in more like the quarter guard, maybe I'm wrong about your question. If like this isn't answering it very good, then just ask it again. I'll help you in another video. But yeah, for here, we gotta stay nice and tight in the ball, right? Because I can't bump in here. I got no power. just gotta push into here. Look, I keep my elbows tight, and then now stop the arm from grabbing my head, shrimp out, boom, into my half guard, my knee shield. All right. I often get in my partner's closed guard, but sometimes they just decide to sit in my guard and not move at all. No escapes, nothing. Is there any way to sweep attack someone when they keep staying in my guard like this? So yeah, it's so annoying when people do that in closed guard or any position. Like, I hate when people have like anti-jiu-jitsu where it's like they just try not to roll. They just try not to have anything happen. And I've rolled even like black belts that are like that. Or a lot of times MMA fighters are like that. They just want to be on top, do literally nothing other than not get swept and not get submitted. And it's like, how's that even fun for them? I don't really understand. Like, let's roll, But yeah, someone's in my close guard posture. Yeah, just like this, exactly. So, like, I don't know. It's hard to really give advice from here because you just have to make something work. You got to break. You do the exact same things you do normally. You would try to break the posture or folding down. Right. Once you have their posture broken, then it should be a little easier to attack from. But if they're just kind of up here and you don't really have anything going, you could also, just move yourself out and you can come out, boom, start wrestling them. I find that's a pretty effective thing for people that have anti-jiu-jitsu, don't want to engage at all. I'll just grab their legs and like wrestle them, like a wrestle up situation. So it's hard to really give advice on that because, yeah, it's just a hard thing to deal with because they're just trying not to roll. So you just got to try harder to make them roll, kind of. So I hope that was okay of an answer. You did a great no-gi video on rolling back attacks. Is this a move that you would also work in gi, or is it not advised? It's 100% good in gi too. There's like absolutely no difference. I would say like it might even be a little easier in gi, just because people can't like slide out of it using sweat in no gi, right? So yeah, it's great in the gi, and it's basically just a variation of the bambolo, which is a gi move. So definitely do it in the gi too. Hey Jordan, I'm interested since you also competed in MMA too. Did you use your half guard there? If yes, did you need to make any specific adjustments with it for the punches? Would you recommend to be mindful when developing half guard and MMA in mind? So in MMA, you want to never be on the bottom ever, okay? It's really bad, but if you do find yourself there, okay, it's tough because an underhook is better in half guard for the most part, because in MMA especially, because you can use that to wrestle them, right? So I'll just show you. So right here, I get an underhook, right? I just start working to wrestle him, take his back, whatever. So that's great, but the problem is you don't control their arms, so that makes it bad sometimes in MMA. So it's like good and bad. So like if Mike's trying to punch me, exactly, he can give me an opportunity for the underhook, okay? So, which can be good, yeah, which is good, right? But the problem is, if he does punch me while I'm trying to get the underhook, well, maybe I won't get it. Maybe now he like punched me. I'm like, oh, like that's a really hard shot. And now I'm like rocked or whatever, and I don't even think about the underhook or I don't time it right. So, you know, what's also good is having the overhook, which you can do. You know, the overhook's good because they can't punch you, right? Try to punch me, right? Exactly. So the overhook's gonna be really good in that situation. And you just have to develop a good overhook guard. You know, you can work, like start working like, you know, to like go like omoplatas or triangles, or you can work like, you know, just go your half guard butterfly with your overhook, you know, or start working guillotines from there. It's just like, I wouldn't say much changes other than you have to know like when to tie someone up and when to go for the underhook. It's tough because when I watch MMA, I'm looking at, and all these guys go for overhooks because they don't want to get punched, but oftentimes those overhooks stop them from escaping because they don't have a good overhook game, where they'd be better off possibly going for the underhook, but then they get punched. So it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Just like, but yeah, I would say like don't try to like definitely develop, because you don't want to like get there and not know anything, but just like you just don't want to rely on your guard in MMA. You want to always be on top and do everything you can to make sure you're on top, because punches change everything and they make jiu-jitsu less effective for sure in MMA when you're on the bottom. What are your favorite ways to fight and break the opponent's grip when finishing an armbar? So yeah, that's a great question, and I have like two ways. One, I like to push with my heels to break the grip, but then it kind of opens your knees up, and people might say, you know, that it might not be smart because, you know, you leave space, but I don't think so. So going this way, Mike. So we're here like this. Yeah, Mike puts his hands together, right? So I really like to be here, and a lot when I break grips, I usually go like Kimura grip. So I'll be here, put my feet in here, and I'm not too worried, because if Mike does try to come up, Mike, I can put my leg right back on him, right? No problem. And if he tries to bring it up, unless I've already broken it, well, now it's back on him again too. So, you know, I think it's like slightly risky, but like barely. So I really like the feet and the biceps, but you know, that's if he has his hands like this, okay? But like, you know, there's lots of ways people can put their hands. I just like to think of it as like a puzzle. So I don't really have like specific techniques. It's more like, you know, how can I get his hands out? So maybe his hands here, maybe I can peel it this way, and now I have access if I come up here, right? Or maybe, you know, maybe I gotta take my leg off completely and grab his leg, take my leg off and put it back, but now it's over. Same thing, grabbing and just treating it like a puzzle. Or, you know, also like prying it out, like pushing, you know, just prying it out this way and working to grab it. So yeah, I don't really think of like that position as like specific techniques you have to do. It's like very situational, but when they have their hands just connected normal, that's what I like to do, is use my feet to get my heels together and pry. Some people might not think it's good, like I said, but they're wrong. Like, everything just has risk. So if you leave a little bit of space to gain a lot of advantage of armbarring someone, I think it's totally fine if you're aware of that space is there and aware that they might be able to come up. And if you're aware of that, then you can stop them. So yeah, I think it's good. And we got one more thing. You can do like a bicep slicer too. So you're here, right? You can bring your leg over this way, right? And then triangle and go bicep slicer. That's always fun. So yeah, I like those ones. Hi Jordan, I'm a white belt, have been training for about 6 months now. Do you have any tips / routines for stretching, warm-ups, workouts that'll help specifically with BJJ? So I wish I did, but like, you know, I'm kind of like lazy that way, is I don't stretch, I don't like warm up or anything like stuff I should. So don't be like me. But what I am planning on doing is like I asked like someone that's really good, like she's an FRC specialist, like functional range conditioning, to do like, we're gonna make a video on like on how to be mobile for jiu-jitsu, how to warm up, all that stuff. So that'll come out soon. I just asked her to do it today, so hopefully she says yes. I don't think she will. And yeah, that'll help you out a lot. What's good, Jordan? I'm in my second week as a white belt, and I'm running into this mental problem of utilizing brute strength versus technique. How do I find a balance, or is there even a balance? So what I would do is like, okay, not worry too much. First off, like when you're a beginner, like you can still use your brute strength and like have fun as long as you're like not being dangerous. Like, you know, you still want to win. You know, you still want to win and enjoy jiu-jitsu, but that's like not all the time. It depends who you're rolling with too. And you know, what I would do if I were you is what I do when I'm lazy, which is like just like when I'm rolling with someone and I'm just being lazy, I just concentrate on like the fundamentals. Okay, first don't let them grab my head. I'm trying to get the underhook on them, and you know, just like all the stuff I say in the video. So you know, when you're rolling, think of those 20 tips, and yeah, the most important one really is just don't let people grab your head. Okay, that's so important, and that'll help you out a lot. And then you know, that'll like and try to use your technique in class. So I think it's good to think of everything I teach, like the concept is like the in between the techniques, and then you use the actual techniques you learn in class to you know, to actually do things. So like, yeah, that's what I would say. Just like, yeah, because I don't think people should like not try because they're worried about like, you know, using too much strength and stuff like that, because that doesn't make sense to me either. Jiu-jitsu is fun when you do want to win and everything, but like you should also try to balance it where it's like you don't want to win that bad where you put someone at a risk, but you know, so yeah, you just got to find that balance. But yeah, I'd say like, you know, try to approach it like, how does a black belt roll? Like I roll really like not aggressive. I roll very smooth and like relaxed and thoughtful. So it's like that's how you should try to roll, and not like a stereotypical brand new white belt, which is just like spazzing like crazy. That's not what you want to do. When I say like it's okay to use some brute strength, I don't mean like spaz and stuff like that. I mean like, you know, you don't have to not use strength. Like I use strength. You know, I'm like super tired at the end of the roll. I'm using strength. I'm using athleticism, speed, you know, cardio, everything. So I'm using my advantages, but I'm not like ever reckless and hurting anyone either. So yeah. I think you'll find that balance and just not trying to worry about it too much. You know, just just enjoy jiu-jitsu and just don't hurt anyone. That's the main thing. As long as if you don't hurt anyone, you're not really doing anything wrong. Like that's the main thing. Just don't hurt anyone. And yeah, that's basically it. So guys, thank you so much for supporting the Patreon. We almost reached 100 patrons, which is like mind-blowing to me that people support the channel and me like that, because it really makes a difference, because these videos take me so long to make, and just knowing that so many people support me and can like compensate me financially, like it just helps so much, because this stuff like costs a lot of money to make too, like, you know, I have to buy hard drives, this and that. So like, yeah, just like really I just super appreciate it. So thank you guys so much, and thanks for believing in me, and I'll see you guys next time.